I call to order a regular meeting of the President and Board of Trustees of Machesney Park, Illinois for Monday, August 15, 2016. Please stand for the invocation led by Trustee Robin Snodgrass and Pledge of Allegiance led by Trustee Johnson.
Let's pray. Father God, we thank you so much for this community that we live in. And Lord, I just pray that you bless us as we do this business tonight. Lord, help us to stay focused on what's best for the residents that we serve and make the decisions that we make clear and understandable. Lord, you have blessed us with a wonderful community that's growing and has some awesome things going on. And I just pray that you continue to bless this community. I thank you so much for the opportunity to serve. And I pray that as we go forward, that things work out well. In Jesus' precious name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Would the clerk take a roll call, please?
Mayor Boland.
Here.
Trustee Snodgrass.
Here.
Johnson.
Here.
Kidd.
Aye.
Wilson.
Here.
Bailey. Here. Beck.
Here.
Clerk is present, the attorney is present.
Thank you, Lori. We have a quorum. Next is approval of minutes from August 1st, 2016 board meeting. I entertain a motion to approve.
So made.
Second. I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussions or changes? I see none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The minutes have been approved. Next we have Treasurer's Report. Tom Yo.
Thank you, Your Honor. Tonight's Treasurer's Report reflects the total of all funds as of August 8th in the amount of $9,112,420.15. Also, in complying with our ordinance, we are providing the required monthly collateral report. As of August 12th, 2016, the village is holding funds in 4 financial institutions with FDIC coverage. Total pledged collateral is 169% of the current balance, which exceeds the required 110%. As always, a detailed copy of the Treasurer's Report is available in the back of the room.
Thank you, Tom. I entertain a motion to accept the Treasurer's Report.
So made. Second.
I have a motion and a second. Discussion or changes? I see none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The Treasurer's Report has been accepted. Next we have communications. Lori Mitchell.
Thank you, Your Honor. This evening, the village is pleased to announce the Yard of Distinction winners for the month of August. This will be our last award for the summer. And I thank all the residents for their participation this summer and for the nominations. District 1, the winner for August is the Lukowski residents, 1921 Lakendale Drive. District 2, the Rosak residents, 1077 Darwin Drive. District 3, the Grable resident, 8572 Delta Drive. District 4, the Howell residents, 1508 Sandy Point Drive. District 5, the Fipke residents, 8109 Mildred Road. District 6, the Shields residents, 7118 North 2nd Street. And the business award for August is Black Hawk Bank, 6909 Forest Hills Road. And that's all I have, Your Honor.
Thank you, Lori. Next we have warrants. Trustee Wilson.
Thank you, Your Honor. Tonight, the Administration and Finance Committee met, and we voted on a positive recommendation, warrants totaling $1,035,999.60. I'd like to make a motion for their approval.
So made.
Second. I have a motion and a second. Discussion or changes? I see none. Would the clerk take roll call, please?
Trustee Kidd.
Aye.
Wilson.
Aye.
Bailey.
Aye.
Beck.
Aye.
Snodgrass.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
6 ayes and no nays.
Thank you, Lori. The warrants have been approved. Next, we have administrative reports. Community Development Coordinator James Richter.
Thank you, Your Honor. As we enjoy the the finalization and completion of the Route 173 improvement project. Mayor Boland and staff kind of thought it would be appropriate to hold a ribbon cutting ceremony. So we've established a date and location for that, and invites will be going out this week. The date will be Wednesday, September 14th at 11 a.m. The location will be 1770 West Lane Road, which is the parking lot in front of Meyer. It'll be a short ceremony. We'll have a few speakers and just a ribbon cutting event there. So we look forward to seeing you there.
Thank you, James. Next, we have Village Engineer Chris Dopkins.
Thank you, Your Honor. Update the board on some projects that are currently ongoing. On the Kingsley and Drexel project, the contractor is currently placing storm sewer on Drexel. Unfortunately, things are going a little bit slower than expected. We've had a lot of services in the way, and they've taken a bit more time to work through than what was originally expected. So I think we have about 2 more weeks of storm sewer work to go, both on Kingsley and Drexel. The contractor's plan is to get Drexel done first, and then switch over to Kingsley, which will open up Drexel to do all the rest of the removals and start getting the concrete put back in there while storm sewer is finishing up on Kingsley. As part of that project, we did a little bit of widening up on Gentian Drive and tried to make things a bit easier for the school drop-offs that occur up there. And every once in a while, I think we sort of test Murphy's Law just to make sure that it's still working, and everybody should be happy to know that it is. Whatever could go wrong pretty much did go wrong the last few days of that, and culminated today with doing the paving pretty much concurrently with school letting out. So for those folks who were inconvenienced by that, we certainly apologize. It ended up being one of those things that happens through construction. But the good news is that everything is paved up there and looking a lot better. The Scott Lane project, concrete work is substantially complete. Still a few inverts to pour in the inlets. And a little bit of adjustments to do on some of the manholes. The contractor will be in shaping the stone, doing the rough grading behind the curb, and shaping drives for pavement. So currently, driveway paving is scheduled the week of 8/22. We want to do restoration after that, and finally we'll get the road paving done. So we're in pretty good shape on that project. The Alpine Path project, I am very pleased to report that we did make substantial completion at the high school last Friday. It was right down to the wire. Signs were going up on Friday, sometimes in the rain. Hats off to N-Track here. They had a lot of scheduling to do with subcontractors. That's not an easy thing to do, and it worked out okay. The contractor is now working on the west side of Alpine Road. They're up on the north end of the project, and they're working their way south. They'll continue doing that over the next couple of weeks. The 2016 resurfacing, the contractor began removals today. We'll have concrete work going on a little bit later this week to get some of the replacement done. Milling is tentatively scheduled for next week, and then paving will begin the week thereafter, if not the end of next week. So that will start ramping up here. And then finally, on the Prairie and Dorothea project, the sanitary sewer push underneath Illinois 251 took a little bit more time than expected. They're actually wrapping up work on that today. They'll start storm sewer tomorrow on Dorothea Avenue and begin working their way south, and they'll be on underground improvements here for the next week and a half to 2 weeks. That's all I have this evening, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Next, we have Public Safety Supervisor Sergeant Doug Bushman.
Thank you, Your Honor. The monthly police report covers July 29 through August 11th. There were 885 calls for service in the village, 255 reports taken, 275 arrests. Thank you.
Thank you, Sergeant Bushman. Next, we have committee and trustee reports. Do we have any reports this evening? Trustee Kidd.
The Public Improvement and Safety Committee approved 2 items for the September 6th meeting. Also, as a request, as several citizens from Minns and Alpine and Safety for the Kids, possibly putting a traffic light up there where the kids cross into the north side of Alpine. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Kidd. Trustee Wilson.
Thank you, Your Honor. The Administration and Finance Committee met this evening, and we'll be sending 1 ordinance and 1 resolution to the September 6th board meeting with a positive recommendation. Also, just wanted to say it was great to see the kids heading back to school today. Had a chance to visit a number of the schools, and those smiling faces and backpacks and clean shoes. Hope they have a great school year.
Thank you, Trustee Wilson. Trustee Johnson.
Thank you, Your Honor. Well, also thank Doug Bushman and officers for their efforts in trying to keep the school zones, free of, any problems, and keeping, remind everybody the school started and be cautious with the school zones and things. And also want to thank the Public Works for what they've done this last week for me. Thanks.
Thank you, Trustee Johnson. Are there any more reports? I see none. Next, we have the consent agenda. Will the staff please present all items under the consent agenda for the record?
Tonight's consent agenda consists of item A, ordinance 3316, a zoning map amendment to change the zoning from AG to R1 at 11203 Dorothea Avenue, and this is the first reading. Item B, ordinance 3416, an ordinance approving the I-90 Route 173 Business District Plan, first reading. Item C, ordinance 3516, an ordinance designating the I-90 Route 173 Business District, first reading. Item D, ordinance 36-16, an ordinance imposing a 1% business district retailers/hotel operators occupation tax within the I-90 173 Business District, first reading. Item E, ordinance 3916, an ordinance authorizing the exchange of real property at 1031 Brentwood Road, first reading. Item F, Resolution 42R16, a resolution to authorize the plat officer to sign the final plat number 2 of the Puree 173 subdivision. Item G, Resolution 45R16, authorization to purchase a 1-squad car to replace a detective car. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Tim. Are there any items a board member would like removed from the consent agenda and considered separately? Trustee Wilson.
Yes, Your Honor. I'd like to remove ordinance 33-16. That's the AG to R1 at 11203 Dorothea Avenue.
Thank you. Are there any other items trustees want removed from the consent agenda? I see none. Item A will be moved to unfinished business. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda with the exception of item A?
So made.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussions? Will the clerk take roll call, please?
Trustee Wilson.
Aye.
Bailey.
Aye.
Beck.
Aye.
Snodgrass.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Kidd.
Aye.
Mayor Boland.
Aye.
7 ayes and no nays.
Thank you, Lori. The consent agenda has been approved, B, C, D, E, F, and G. Next, we have unfinished business. Ordinance 33-16, ZMA Ag to R1, 11203 Dorothea Avenue for first reading. I entertain a motion to approve.
So made.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Staff report, please.
Thank you, Your Honor. The subject petition before you this evening is for a rezone of a property at 11203 Dorothea from agricultural to R1. The property is a non-conforming ag property. It does have a single-family residence on it now that is in poor shape, or that has, I think, been removed now. In order to build a new home on the property, since it does not meet today's current regulations in terms of minimum size for the AG zoning district, it's being requested to be rezoned to R1. It's consistent with the neighborhood, and it did receive a positive recommendation by the advisory boards.
Thank you, James. Are there any discussions? I see none. Will the clerk take roll call, please?
Trustee Bailey.
Aye.
Beck.
Aye.
Snodgrass.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Kidd.
Nay.
Wilson.
Aye.
Mayor Boland.
Aye.
5 ayes, 1 nay. Oops, sorry, 6 ayes and 1 nay.
Ordinance 33-16, ZMA Ag to R1, 11203 Dorothea Avenue for first reading has been approved. Trustee Wilson.
Your Honor, I'd like to relax the rules this evening and put this into a second reading due to time sensitivity for the petitioner.
Thank you. I have a motion to suspend the rules and bring ordinance 33-16 back for second reading.
So made.
No, they have.
I have a motion. Do I have a second? I have a second. Is there any discussion? Will the clerk take roll call, please?
To waive the rules, Trustee Beck.
Aye.
Snodgrass.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Kidd.
Aye.
Wilson.
Aye.
Bailey.
Aye.
6 ayes and no nays.
Motion to waive the rules to bring ordinance 33-16 back for second reading has been approved. I present ordinance 33-16, ZMA Ag to R1, 11203 Dorothea Avenue for second reading. I entertain a motion to approve.
So made.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? I see none. Would the clerk take roll call?
Trustee Snodgrass.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Kidd.
Nay.
Wilson.
Aye.
Bailey.
Aye.
Beck.
Aye.
Mayor Boland.
Aye.
6 ayes and 1 nay.
Ordinance 33-16 has been approved for second reading. Next, we have new business, Resolution 46-R16, RDA between Dine Pickin LLC and Village of Machesney Park for road construction. I entertain a motion to adopt.
So made.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Could I have staff report, please?
Thank you, Your Honor. I'll begin and then turn it over to our attorney. You have before you a new version of the development agreement that was distributed at your place prior to the meeting there. There are some, and the reason for that is there are some minor changes that were necessary after we had discussion with the developer over the last 2 weeks. We understood and came to an agreement that additional improvements would be forthcoming at some point in the near future. So we've amended the agreement to accommodate those future improvements. Prior to tonight, the agreement contemplated approximately a project the size of approximately $1.2 million, of which the village was contributing $400,000 in TIF funds and $40,000 in engineering. Also from the TIF, or backed by the TIF. So I'll turn it over to Tom here, but essentially the agreement provides for repayment to the village on a 50-50 basis of new increment generated until the $440,000 is repaid to the village. And then at that time, if no further improvements were made, the increment would be increased to 100% to the village. Now, should additional improvements occur, we'd go back to the 50-50 split, but in any case, it would be capped at $2.5 million, and that would allow for the contemplated expansion of the roadway system and infrastructure up to the high lines, the ComEd high lines, and also a couple of cul-de-sacs that would come off the main road. But in any case, of course, those funds would be reimbursed and would only be paid out if increment were generated. Tom?
If I might, all of the funds that will be paid to the developer will only be paid from TIF increment. There's no general fund monies going to the developer. So the developer will need to develop property, create increment in order to receive these funds. One slight correction, it's 50-50 on the 400 that we have, and then what the developer will have invested, which will be $800 to $1 million. Once we, obviously at that rate, we'll get our share back sooner. We'll be paid first. Once we get paid back, then we will continue to retain 25%, but the developer will receive 75% in order to get their portion paid. The amendment basically was the result of the developer coming back and saying, we really think we're going to do more than what is contemplated in this project relatively quickly, and rather than having to go through the whole process of having to come back and do a new RDA, let's identify those additional improvements. Let's put a cap on it of $2.5 million, and again, the 400 that's involved here doesn't change. There's no, the developer is just saying, I anticipate spending more. I anticipate taking this road farther in the near future, so let's cover that. And it seemed logical to do that. It seemed appropriate to do that. Again, I want to emphasize that one, no general fund monies goes to the developer. It has to be increment that comes from the development of the land that gets paid to them. And that is also the source of our repayment on the 400. So that's my report, or my augmentation of the village administrator's report.
Thank you, Tom and Attorney Green and Tim. Is there any discussion from the trustees? Trustee Beck.
Thank you, Your Honor. Just where in this 20-page document is the bulk of the changes to?
I would, good question. I would direct you to page 7. If you go to page 7, and this is 99% of the changes were made in page 7, underneath where it says number 6, we clarify that right below that, we clarify that the village gets 50% until they're paid in full. Then the next paragraph starts, upon full reimbursement, and that's a new paragraph. Upon full reimbursement, the village will retain 25%, the developer will receive 75% until they're paid on this smaller project, this first plat. And then that next paragraph, which starts, upon full reimbursement, the developer of these projects, the village will retain 100% of the increment until such time as they do additional improvements. And once they do additional improvements, then we'll reimburse them 75% of the increment. Village pretty much always retains a portion of increment so that we can have a fund for contingencies, things that need to be done. There may be a water tower out there at some point, et cetera, et cetera. So we always retain some increment to have a fund out of which to do other improvements.
Thank you.
Is there any more questions from Trustee Snodgrass?
I've asked this question before, and I'm not quite sure, I'm going to ask it again, because I don't remember what the answer was. Page 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20 are all blank. And I know when I've asked it before, I think the answer I was given was, oh, we must have just not copied it right. But it doesn't even say, I've seen on other legal documents where it says this page was intentionally left blank. And it doesn't say that on any of these, and we don't have the legal description, nor the drawings, or all these things. And I'm just wondering why, and that's all.
If I might?
You may.
We didn't actually get the legal description, I think until Friday. I think it was Friday. We got it late last week. And I don't mean to minimize, but this is the sort of a technical, we're going to get the legal description of the actual project area, and we do have that in our possession now. We should be able to attach it at second reading. B1 will be another drawing of it's really going to be pretty much exactly the same as the plat, which you've seen, which will ultimately be attached here as Exhibit D. C1 is a description of the project, and that's a narrative which will say they're going to build this road and they're going to build the improvements to this road. And again, we have that now, but we didn't have it until like Friday. And then C1 is an estimate of the budget. So it came in, again, it came in late Friday. It's 1.4 million, it's something like that. It'll be attached by the time you have it at second reading. All of these will.
Thank you. I know it's happened before, and I was just like, I don't get why we never get the exhibits, so thank you.
Small correction is this is just tonight as a resolution.
This is a resolution.
Oh, gosh, I'm sorry. We have them. They are, I would still recommend we move forward tonight so we keep the project moving forward.
Thank you.
One
Thank
thing
you.
I
I
can
apologize
do
for that.
when this is signed and when I get ready to file it electronically, I can forward a copy to the trustees with the documents attached.
Thank you.
Is there any more discussion from the trustees? I see none. Will Clerk, take roll call, please.
Trustee Johnson.
Aye.
Kidd.
Nay.
Wilson.
Aye.
Bailey.
Aye.
Beck.
Aye.
Snodgrass.
Aye.
Mayor Boland.
Aye.
6 ayes and 1 nay.
Thank you, Lori. Resolution 46-R16 has been adopted. Next, we have public comment. Is there anyone who wishes to make a public comment this evening? I see none. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So made.
Second?
Have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We are adjourned.